What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the final episode of Drink This Book podcast, episode 10.
The last of the Mohicans.
The last.
We did it. 10 episodes. Can you believe
episodes.
it?
No. It's 10 episodes, y'all. 10 toes down.
10.
10 toes down.
I remember the very first taping.
Oh my gosh.
It was rough.
It was.
It took a long time. You know, we had to work through some kinks.
Yeah, but I feel like we got it down to a science. And then when we come back next time, it's going to be even better.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
think we got it to a science. You don't think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, when we come back, it'll be even better too. So, you know. But episode 10, we're here. We made it.
Yeah, we did.
And we're doing it on Hold You Down by Tracy Brown.
Yes.
Now, this is a book. This is a book. So, without further ado, to start this episode off. Hey!
This is what I mean when I say I don't think we have it all the way down.
It was pretty close, though.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Pretty close.
I'm getting better.
You are.
Yeah, you getting better.
I got to give you props.
We have to time it for you.
I know.
Getting better.
It's like 1, 2, 3, slap. We ain't even have to do that. Look at you. Look, y'all see we got on our shirts. It took us to the episode 10, but we
We've been had them.
We been had them. We did. But look at us, y'all. We doing big things. We got shirts now.
Yeah, we official. We in there.
We in there.
All right. So, introductions. How would you feel if you are a responsible, level-headed do-gooder or rule follower, while your sister is a dare-taker, quick-witted, on her feet? Both you are mothers raising boys in the mean streets of Harlem in the 90s. Mercy and Lenox Howard have always only had each other. Growing up with an absentee mother meant that they had to have each other's backs. But things don't go out as planned or not planned for this family, especially when things take a deadly turn. So let's just start with this drink, because this book right here gave me a headache. So let's start with this drink. So in honor of Juneteenth, because today is Juneteenth, we have a refreshing, I call a sweet, cool lemonade whiskey.
Okay.
It's nice. It's refreshing. You can drink this outside. You see, we got a picture, because this gonna be gone by no later than tomorrow morning. I'm
waiting to see what's all in him, because it's Juneteenth.
Yes.
And you want to celebrate, have a good time.
I am gonna celebrate as soon as we finish. As soon as we say it's a wrap.
but see, Millicent here. But not that much of a good time, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to.
I mean, not too much. I said,
I'm gonna have a great time.
Yeah,
I'm on vacation.
Yeah, we still gotta go to the gym in the morning.
We do,
but it's at 9:15. So
see power to the people over here.
We Gucci, you know, because we already got our workout in this morning too.
Y'all left it all in there. I hope y'all did.
Yeah.
I pep talked her though about her behavior today.
So what is in this is, okay, so I made lemonade from scratch. So I did, you know, the regular water, sugar, but I use organic lemon juice. And if I got time to be squeezing lemons like I used to back at Raising Cane's, we not doing that. So I got the whole lemon juice, organic, just straight pure lemon juice. And then I mixed with orange liqueur. And the whiskey that I use is called Hardhide Ponchatoula strawberry whiskey.
Sounds great.
So I put it in the picture. So these are not, you know, these. I don't give you measurements because I make large quantities.
This cup.
Thank you. Yeah, y'all have a different cup than I do because I've been drinking.
This is nice.
You know,
taste that.
You always say this is nice.
I love this podcast.
My cheeks is all flush.
I like this podcast because I get to drink.
This is nice.
See?
But see, this is the nice that will get you caught up. And I'm so glad I'm going home today.
Caught up.
Yeah.
Caught up.
You know, it's one of them. Today is on my shirt. I was on today. Today was a good day with Q. Ice Cube. See?
Look at you.
This one of them get you caught up because it tastes so good. It's so refreshing. And I feel it. It's happening. I feel it like that instantly. That's just my makeup is just I feel it instantly.
I mean, I've been feeling it all good.
Yeah, it'll get you caught up.
I started to do an Honor Palmer version of this.
I like that.
But I was like, no, I'm gonna keep it like this because that Honor Palmer might be a little bit too. Everybody don't like Honor Palmers. If you don't know what an Honor Palmer is, it's nothing but tea and lemonade mix.
Oh, you can't say Honor Palmer anymore.
What do you say?
Why?
They call it it's a sunshine something.
I ain't.
Because they said Honor Palmer was a slave owner, so we have to disband his name.
Okay, so was George Washington.
I'm just letting you know.
Girl.
It's not polite or politically correct to say Honor Palmer. That's all.
All I know him from is golfing.
Me too.
So I don't know.
Look it up.
Like, I'm like, that's how
Because
I
I'm
know
telling
him
you,
from.
I
I'm not woke.
went to the restaurant and I said Honor Palmer. They was like, oh no, you can't say that anymore. And I got a whole history lesson with trying to order a drink. Just saying.
Like, they call it something else at Raising Cane's as well.
They do.
But when I say
It's a
Honor Palmer,
sunshine something. Something like that.
Okay.
Just thought I'd let you know.
I feel the sunshine is starting to sunshine up in me.
Yeah, because listen, I got a song in my head. And I don't know if y'all can hear because it's in my head, but I'm just like,
Oh, we in here?
y'all can hear, but it's in my head. I'm like, ooh da, do do do. That's what this make me do. Do do do.
I hope it's doing. I'm glad it's doing you like that because I was worried about you today, being that it's
Juneteenth, baby. Okay.
Okay.
Let's get back to work.
she practiced and everything this morning
I did.
with no complaints.
I did.
No complaints.
I didn't complain not one bit.
And she played too good. And she took critiques and criticism.
I did.
I was so proud
I
of her.
call her and I pep talk her in the morning.
Cause she know I'm gonna punch her in the face if she keep playing with me.
I'm glad that you.
I did what I was told. I played the game.
Yep.
You wasn't hostile today.
I wasn't
No.
hostile.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clock it. Okay. All right. We really been wasting time because this book right here, y'all.
Y'all ain't ready.
Y'all ain't ready. 'Cause
I wasn't ready.
was not ready.
I wasn't
Exactly.
ready.
I wasn't ready.
I was not ready for this book.
If you went in just thinking about the title of the book, I'm thinking, hold you down. She gonna hold her sister down. She gonna hold her man. Right, she gonna hold her man down.
Exactly.
And it was not that at all.
But what I can say, hold you down, is though it wasn't what we expected because I was thinking it was going to be a female holding her man down or whatever like that. He in, whatever situation.
And
but
then,
it still let you know it stuck to what it was about.
Right.
The importance of supporting
It did.
through difficult situations. It's just what it was.
But it was dumb.
Because let me tell you.
And it was one-sided too.
It was very one-sided.
No.
It was dumb decisions.
It was kind of selfishly
She should have left and went
Right.
to Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Philadelphia, wherever he had moved to. That's where she should have.
Yeah.
When the opportunity presented itself after her sister, we gonna get into that. She should have left.
Yeah.
She should have took them boys and gone by her business.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about the author for a second. Miss Tracy Brown. So, we'll take a moment of silence for her because she did pass away. Okay. So, Miss Tracy Brown was an American author of urban fiction who is known for her works set in Staten Island, New York. She is an alumni of John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Her books, which are set in Staten Island and focus on women who triumph despite adversity, have been in Essence Magazine and USA Today bestsellers. Tracy Brown stories have appeared in anthologies, The Game, short stories about the life in Flint. She is also a celebrity ghostwriter, biographer. She ran a non-profit organization known as We Are Ladies First, which seeks to inform, inspire, and empower the young women of Staten Island. She also mentored and taught a course on writing to young ladies in a correctional environment of the New York State. foster care system. She lent her talents to community plays, musicals, and church programs, writing and directing her first stage play, Brand New, in 2016. Unfortunately, Tracy Brown passed away on May the 20th of 2023. Her death was announced by her children, Ashley, Quavell, and Justin, through a Facebook post on Tracy's official Facebook page.
Yes.
So I'm glad you read that, because I didn't really have any information about her besides her passing.
Yeah. It was
so
hard
it
to
helped
find
me a
the
lot with
information.
this book, because everything that had taken place in this book, and to see her true life, the things that she did, it helps me to understand more why the book was written the way it was written.
Yeah.
Right.
So that within those few short moments of you reading it has helped me a lot, because I'm still healing from this book.
Who you telling?
And we read this book, 2 months ago?
I'm still healing.
I feel like we read
About
this
2
in
months.
February, March or something?
It was end of March, early April. Yeah, somewhere
I'm
around there.
still healing, and I'm going to need this drink too.
I need to drink drinks throughout this whole process.
So funny story before we get going. Let's talk
Lighten
about
the mood.
let's how we talk about how we got this book.
Let's talk about how she
Let's talk about
got this book.
Let's talk about it.
So-
And it wasn't even
Let
her
me
pick.
shift myself.
So, great, yeah, we're all in a picture it. We're all in book club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a member. We're not gonna talk about who she is, but we have a
Said
member.
member, okay.
Said member. She never picks her own books, right? So she always
We still love
reads-
you.
We do love her, but she never picks her own
you
books.
ain't got no choice.
I think she learned a valuable lesson.
She learned a valuable lesson with this book. I think this book taught her a lesson. So she never picks her own book. She always comes to either of us to pick her book for the month. So I had heard mixed reviews about this book in different groups, Facebook groups, and groups about. I talked to a lot of different people about books.
Trickery.
And so I'd heard lots and lots and lots of stuff about this book, mixed reviews. So guess what I did? I just threw it on my TBR list. So when said member came to me, I just scroll. Oh,
What I want to read?
what I want to read? Because she should do research and pick her own books, but she don't.
True.
So because she don't, I just whoop, hold you down, and we went forward. Now that said member not gonna just come, hey, give me a book no more. She gonna do some research.
Yeah.
So
know what?
it was my fault. I brought this book into our lives.
But you know what? I feel like the way that this book came about is the same way that book that I had picked, the autobiography, Forgiving the Unforgiven.
That book.
If you never read that book.
Oh,
But, okay, I did research on that book, but I didn't do a deep dive research on that book. I didn't look up reviews
I
or
don't think
anything.
I read that book.
Don't.
If you don't listen to anything
Let me tell you something.
that I ever
The
tell
first
you,
sentence on that book, when you open it up, it says, I was raped at the age of, I think it was like in between the ages of 6 and 8.
8.
Yes.
Yeah.
And passed around through the church members.
Yeah, that's the first.
And it's a real story.
real life.
And the girl had, what caught my attention is when I watched her interview, she was like, oh yeah, I think she had, 11 or 12 kids.
But she had her first kid at 10.
Right. And so she was like, oh yeah, and I wrote this book, and da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, okay. Cute. I picked
Not
this
cute.
book.
Traumatic.
Not cute. Not
Very
cute at all.
traumatic. It ain't even on Audible. It was traumatic.
Right.
I read it in the day, but still, I had to apologize to the book club because I was not expecting the book to be that way.
Oh, child.
But back to this book. We're here. We're here. Hold you down. Synopsis and plot.
Okay. Mercy and Lenox Howard are sisters that have always had each other's backs. They are raising 2 sons the best way they know how in New York City. Mercy is raising her son Judah on a hospital administrative salary and trying to make sure he gets the best education possible. But she really has dreams of owning her own restaurant. Lenox is the one that is always chasing after the next big thing. When Lenox gets involved in a risky business of selling the new hot drug on the street, it will change her and her son's Dion's lives forever.
Crack is whack.
Dion and Judah share a bond that transcends mere cousinhood. They have grown up together, navigating life challenges and the gritty backdrop of Harlem. Their mothers, Mercy and Lenox, have shaped their identities through love and resilience. but they also reflect the struggles of their upbringing. Dion, the adventurous one, often mimics Lennox's impulsive nature. He's drawn to the thrill of life, yet he carries the weight of his mother's choices.
Mm-hmm.
Judah, on the other hand, embodies Mercy's grounded demeanor. He's the voice of reason amidst chaos, striving to uphold the values instilled by his mother. Their relationship is rich with camaraderie, but it's also layered with tension stemming from their contrasting paths.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that sums it up.
That does. Yeah.
Because when the book opens, it opens at a funeral.
Yeah.
It opens at Mercy's and Lennox's
Mom's
mother's
funeral.
funeral.
Mm-hmm. And y'all picture? Did y'all picture
I
pictures
did.
up
Right.
there?
I did.
In the cold car
I did.
with the snow and the big puffy coats
Yeah.
and stuff like
I
that. That's
did.
how I pictured it.
I did. And then the way it's written is written very well.
Right.
I can say that. I mean,
100%.
it's written beautifully because
Yes.
the way that she describes everything, you can physically
You there.
picture yourself
You're
there. And the chronological way she wrote it, you just following along. It's like you're watching a movie, to be honest.
True.
Like
Correct.
from beginning to end of
True.
a almost like a Love Jones.
I was
Right, yeah.
It literally puts me in the mind of like Love Jones, Poetic Justice,
Yeah.
like
Correct,
those
correct.
type of movies where you just feel you can connect with the character.
Right, because even with all of the heartache that the book was bringing, I could not stop reading
I
it.
couldn't.
No.
either.
Like, it was like, oh my God, my heart is aching, but we have to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, like,
gotta
I gotta
see
see
it
this
through.
through.
Yeah. And I'm
You
like,
know?
come on, sis, make better choices.
Yeah. And I kept, for a moment there, I kept the mindset it's going to get better. It's going to
Yes.
get better. But then when I realized
It
It's
never
not.
got
it's
better.
not going to get better,
It'll never get better.
and it's like you up here, and then you like, oh, like something happened, boom. Oh, that's okay, something happened, boom. And then it's going to go back up. No, it never did. It just kept.
If
the
Depressing
whole-
Lives was a book, is this book?
Yeah.
But the way the writing of the author, it kept you so engaged.
It kept you engaged.
You didn't want to stop reading. You wanted to see it through. You
Right.
wanted
Yeah.
to know what happened. Though
just-
it kept just
You
dropping
kept
further.
hope alive.
Yeah,
You
you
just
kept
was
hope,
like,
but
you know what?
it's
I
just-
got an hour left of this book. Ain't no hope.
just-
I didn't. I kind of lost. I didn't. I just had to see it through. But it was so well written.
It was.
Right.
And this is how I knew I had lost hope. When the fight scene happened at the end of the book, I was like,
Oh, I lost hope before that. I lost hope
Jesus.
before
Yeah,
that.
I was gone before that.
Before
part.
that. I lost hope.
When she went the dog.
Nope. I didn't lose hope there either. That sent me spiraling, but I didn't lose hope. I lost hope when that young boy went to jail and his whole life was
fight?
thrown away.
After the fight.
And
that was
then-
good.
No,
No.
not that fight.
Not that fight. You talking about the fight at the
At
end.
the end.
Oh,
Between
the fight.
Judah and Dion.
That's what I say. Oh, it was way before that, before me.
Oh, you.
No, but that wasn't even.
No, because I had hope alive. I was like, well, maybe they will overcome.
Break the
will break
generational curse.
the generational curse.
Nope, that's not
thing.
even what broke my heart either. You know what really broke my
Him
heart?
going to jail.
Nope. When that boy mama died and he was in jail. And he had to go to her funeral in chains, in shackles and chains.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back.
Okay.
So
Woo! Woo! Still thinking about
this
it.
book is a lot.
So-
It's a lot.
We're not gonna give you too many details if you haven't read the book, but let's just give you some
Basics. Let's start from the beginning.
bulletin points on traumatic experiences in this book. A, we start off with a funeral.
Yeah.
B, then the next thing you know, the fathers, the stories of the
The
boys'
dads, the
fathers.
fathers.
Right.
One of them was killed, and
Yeah.
then the other one just disappeared.
He just said, I don't want to be a dad. Yeah.
right. So
But you
okay.
can tell the first one he wanted to, he was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of my family.
Yeah.
Tragic strike. He gets killed.
I mean, that night.
Right.
I'm gonna get
He
you out of here.
literally made these promises, and she
Yeah.
had packed up her stuff and was
ready to
waiting
go.
on him,
And he didn't show
and
up.
he didn't show up.
Yeah,
And I
because he
was
was
just
killed.
like,
You know,
yeah.
he was trying to get some little extra money, and let me get my family, and we finna go.
And I was
No,
just
and-
like, dang, okay. I was like,
Here we
okay,
go. Here
we
we
gonna
go.
keep hope alive. We gonna. So
Yeah.
you know, Mercy, she got a hospital job. You know,
Yeah.
she's working. She's doing this. Okay. Now Lennox comes, she brings her son, they move out there with her sister. Okay, Lennox ain't really got a plan. No. But, you know, she a free spirit. I understand free spirits. I'm a free spirit. But I ain't that much of a free spirit.
I was going to say, yeah, can you top me off, baby? Thank you. You ain't that much of a free spirit because at the end of the day, responsibilities and you I feel like Lenox, my issue with Lenox, the entire book was that Lenox didn't think about the big picture.
She did not.
She thought about what was in front of her.
She lived at that moment. Like,
in the moment.
I'm tired of living in the gutter. I'm tired of living in poverty.
Yeah.
It's my time to have something.
And she got addicted to the fast life. And that was
that was the opposite of Mercy. Mercy thought about the big picture. Mercy thought about I have to struggle right now so my son could have a better life in the future.
I'm just gonna endure this.
Right.
I know
she
it's gonna
paid
get better.
for that boy to go to private school.
Even though she couldn't afford it.
She could not afford it.
But she worked jobs and she did what she had to do because she wanted her son to have a better future.
She put her dreams on the back burner because Mercy was the cook.
And she wanted to have a restaurant.
She wanted to have a restaurant. And she ended up getting a restaurant. Thanks to her sister. Thanks to Lenox.
That's why I say they supported each other. One supported each other in the right way, and one supported each other in the way she thought was the right way. And her thing was, I'm going to go and get it by any means necessary.
Exactly.
And she loved her sister. I'm just going to do this, though it was not the right way.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I'm just so afraid to go to jail.
Totally.
When I think about doing stuff like that, no. If anything is going to risk my freedom or risk my life, I'm just not going to do it. It's not going to happen for me.
I remember I had to go to court for a ticket. And I was just standing there like this in front of the judge. And literally somebody, are you okay? And I'm just like, I'm still trying to process how I'm here.
Baby, the first time I got a ticket, I called I pulled over. Because it was like one of those speed traps where it drops from 50 to 35. And if you don't drop, and there was a cop sitting to the side, didn't see him, got my first ticket, he gave me a ticket, went on about his business. I pulled in the next parking lot and cried and called my mama because, baby, my life. Okay?
Yeah, I'm going to jail.
I'm going to jail. I got a ticket for speed.
You know, because when you don't know, that's not your life. You don't know. That's it. Yeah. I'm a criminal now.
Right. Well, I don't think I was... I think it depends on the circumstances of why I have to appear in front of a judge.
I don't want to put
I
don't want to do anything to put myself in that position.
I don't want
to put myself in that position, but I also have family in law enforcement. So it's a little different because I'm like, I know I ain't going to jail over this, but still, I was more scared of what the total was going to be. Because I was just like, I'm broke.
That's another thing. That's another reason I don't speed. Because I feel like when you speed, you're going to get a speeding ticket and you literally giving away money. I ain't going to give you no money.
Right.
So I'm going to just mind my business and driving my slow lane. And you know I drive slow.
Baby, this one right here?
She drives
slow.
I ain't giving you no money.
Can I give him an example?
This one over here is a
I ain't giving you no money.
Can I give him an example?
She don't drive slow. So you got slow, don't drive slow. And I'm just in between. It depends on...
Okay, I'm going to give y'all a quick story about this one. So one day we all at her house, right? And we're leaving to go to somewhere. You guys, she left her house maybe 35 minutes before me. I was still getting dressed when she left her house. Do you guys know I passed her up on the freeway? 35 minutes. That's how slow she drives. Just saying.
I ain't giving away no money. You speed, you get a ticket. You get a ticket, you got to pay for it. I'm not giving you no money.
Right.
Surprisingly, I have not gotten a lot of tickets.
Knock on wood, baby.
I haven't had a ticket or any type of like traffic ticket. 9 years.
Look at you. That's wonderful.
Yeah, because my son is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm proud of myself.
That's good.
Okay. Everybody swear up and down I'm a speed demon, and I'm really not. I drive the maximum speed.
All right, let's keep going. So, open discussion.
Miss Dion, how did you feel about the book?
Baby. Emotionally raw is an understatement. I'm going to say this, and I've said it before, we all said it and agree. This was an amazing book. Superb book. I recommend you read this book. But to me, this book left me beyond emotionally raw.
Right. Correct.
You felt all the emotions, the laughter, the joy, the pain, the heartache, the shock, the horror. You just went through all of the emotions. And like we stated before, you thought it was going to get better at some point. And that's why I say the writing style was well, because it didn't get better. It didn't get better like, oh, this tragic moment is happening. She's going to triumph through this. No, it got worse and worse. Worse, you know.
Yeah,
but
it never.
This is a amazing book though, because she stuck to real life issues,
right.
real life things and circumstances that can really happen to you. She stuck to that,
right?
And that's what kept you engaged in the book.
Right.
I give the book a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
But I do not have to read anything else from this author.
Right.
That murder scene.
Babe. Oh, let's like wait. Let's not get there yet. Hold on. But to piggyback off, you said, you know, a lot of authors, when they write books, they like to sum it up and give you a pretty little bow.
Yeah.
She didn't do that.
No bow.
No.
Because real life ain't bows all the time.
No, it's not.
Real life is
not.
Sometimes
it's hardcore.
It's raw. It's this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she gave you this book. Like, we all kept saying, when is it gonna get better? When is it gonna get better?
Yeah.
When is it gonna get better? And it just was like,
it never got better.
Here's the end.
It never
This
got
is life
better.
though.
Yeah.
You know. So.
It never got better. And you know, the crazy thing is, I look to books like this, you know, because I be like, I live real life every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when I read black characters in books like this, I be like, it gotta have a fairy tale ending.
Right, give me something
Give
good.
me
But
something. You
she
know,
didn't do that.
They didn't. Every person in this book was dealt a hard hand.
Right.
And we hate to say it, but the book ended with them not winning.
Right.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Even Xander.
Yeah.
He didn't get the love of his life.
Right. You know, he went on. Yeah. No one.
He didn't even get the love of his life, and that man waited.
He waited.
He did.
And he was still there for her after he met somebody else.
Right.
So that man dropped everything and went back for them boys.
So
Right.
Alexander, who we're speaking about, Alexander was a guy who Mercy met.
I think his name's Xander.
I thought it was Xavier.
Xavier. Yeah. He was the man that Mercy started dating.
Mm-hmm.
A good one.
And a good mentor for the
boys, yes.
And he wanted to get her, he wanted to move her up out of Harlem. He wanted to move them away.
Out of Staten Island. Out of the drugs. Out of all of those issues.
And, you know, she stayed because I have to watch over my sister. If I leave my sister right now, what's going to become of her?
And then look what happened to her.
Her sister got in a drug game. She got that taste of money. She got a taste of that lifestyle. And I'm like, I'm not giving it up. And it's by any means necessary. If I got to go in this kitchen and cook this crack. And while my child sleeping in the other room to get this money, I'm going to do that.
Even when her life was on the line and she had the opportunity to get out.
She was gonna get out
when she had to leave.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, she good. This not.
I thought it was
going to be.
They gonna rebuild their life somewhere else.
I was like, okay, maybe she gonna help just rebuild the restaurant. She gonna work in the restaurant. Something.
And her supplier, he warned her. Like, okay, you know what you gonna do? But now I'm gonna stick to the game.
The big dog. He told her.
He did. You know, like, hey, I can't protect you. You know what I'm saying? Because you got some people after you. I can't protect you.
Now, what she should have done is dated him.
Yeah.
If she really
or she should have paid for her some muscle.
She should have.
But she did pay for her some muscle. She had muscle when she went.
Him.
She had muscle
with
though.
The big balls.
But
because
she would go. She had got that private apartment where she would just go and do her stuff, and he was following her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he followed her, and he saw that she was by herself.
So her ex-boyfriend. Well, he
wasn't her boyfriend. He's the person that got her in the game.
He got her in the game.
And what she messed up was she should have kept it strictly business with him, but she would go both ways. One day she would sleep with him, and then the next day she not sleeping with him. It's business. It's this. So the lines was blurred,
and she also messed up by dealing with his business partners.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's where she messed up
because she started
because
his money.
Yeah.
Right. He wasn't a good businessman. She was a way better business person than him. So that's why they wanted to work with him.
That's why she was able to, because he messed up his own family.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
And which is why her life was on the line the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And she should have got out then.
Correct.
Your sister got a restaurant. You didn't help her for that. You didn't help pay your nephew through private school and
exactly.
stuff. Get out, sis. You should have money saved up.
Yeah.
Because where did that money go after she died?
That was her opportunity.
Well, he gave them a lot of money.
And, he took, when he went in there, so the guy who, her ex-business partner, we all know he unalived her. Because he was following her. He unalived her. And the sister found out on the newspaper, the news.
No, she went to go view the body.
But,
you talking about his death?
Yeah, hers.
No, her death. She went to the place to look for.
But how did she find out though?
She went to the place because
she was looking for her.
They hadn't heard from her since she had dropped. She had dropped Dion off at school.
She was calling around looking for her.
And so she didn't go back to pick up Dion.
And they had a Jane Doe.
And so she wanted to go check on the Jane Doe.
They had a Jane Doe.
Mm-hmm.
And she went and she broke down.
But I think when he went in there then, he took her stuff then,
But I'm saying she still should have had more money though.
Yeah, but where did she keep it? I don't think she was smart enough. I'm gonna put this money in the bank.
No, she was
think she just
fast life, fast
house,
money.
I think she spent it all.
No, she probably had it in the stash house. He probably swiped that when he left.
And he took it.
Probably.
She wasn't no business. She wasn't no thinking. Nobody was thinking ahead. Let me go put this in a bank. Let me go do this.
No, she had it in a trap house, and he went and got it, and that was that.
Right.
Right. But the big guy, he did give
he gave Mercy a lot of money.
Some
yeah,
money.
He did.
At her funeral service, and so Mercy should have left.
Then, because
now your sister is not. She's not. She's unalive, and now you got these two boys. You were already struggling with one son. Now you got to take care of your sister's son. This man is offering you out to go get out of this city, get out of this drug stuff.
And you know what her response was? I don't
can't
leave them.
They
I don't want
can't
to remove them from.
That would have been the perfect time to get them out.
Well, you know what we're forgetting? At that time too, also because Dion, which is Lenox's son, the one who was unalived, he started to have emotional issues and he got into trouble. So they put him in the boys' home.
Yeah,
and she didn't want to leave him there in the
boys' home. He gave her the opportunity. He gave her the opportunity before Dion got in trouble, because Dion didn't get in trouble for like a year.
Yep.
She had when Lenox first was unalive. He said, "Let's pack up these boys and go now."
Yep.
She had the opportunity, and it would have been a hard transition because he has to leave the memory of his mama.
Yeah.
In New York.
That's a bad memory though. You would think
you would think that's why I say it would have been the perfect time to get a fresh start to start over.
When I read that part in the book,
because I was like, let's go, here we go,
pack it up and go.
Because her son Judah, he was up and up, he was going up and up. He was smart. He was smart. Going to go to Howard.
But you know what she said? She said, "I don't want to remove them from their normalcy, the places
Let's
that
create
they
new
know.
normalcy.
Yeah,
let's create new normalcy.
She was like, She said it would have been too much to take him from the only place that they've ever known.
Yeah,
it's time.
That's what she felt.
It's time.
And I can truly say, you know how I am. I could fight or flight with me.
Yeah,
I cut her loose right. I cut Mercy loose right in. It's going so big, baby.
I was so upset with her. Right, I was listening to this book and I was like,
girl.
Because
if Lenox was alive, she would have told you, go
ahead.
She would have told you to go.
Right.
There's nothing here for us.
Yeah.
Peace out, sis.
Mm-hmm. So fast forward, Dion loses his mama tragically. She drops him off at school. She never comes back. Yeah. So he knows she was murdered. No closure, no anything. So what does he do? He turned to the only life he knew, the life he saw his mama live, drugs,
the life
trapping.
That he was enamored with.
Exactly. So he turns to that life.
Fighting.
Anger.
He just had so much anger.
Yeah. So he goes
to process his emotions.
Right. He goes to a boys' home. Then he goes to prison. And
he only goes to juvenile.
He
only goes to juvie.
Right.
Because he actually never went to prison.
He did.
Right.
Judah goes to prison.
Oh.
The good boy.
Dion.
The good kid.
Heartache, y'all. Heartache.
I had to take a moment at that point. When that happened, I had to close that book, sit it over here, gather my life together for a bit, and then I had to move forward.
And that just shows you how much the justice system sucks. Because Judah was protecting his cousin.
Right.
And it is obvious that them boys,
they was three.
Yeah, there was like three or four of them. They have actual weapons, bats, beating Dion pretty much to death. All because he took up for Judah.
Yeah.
And Judah is like, we're not letting this go down again. You know, Judah is not a fighter. Dion is. But Judah, like, I can't be scared all my life. He's at that age where he's like, I am a good kid. I know what's right and wrong. But at the same time, I can't just let nobody punk me like that, because then they're going to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
Correct.
So,
and I'm like, I gotta help my cousin. I gotta
protect my cousin, because my cousin has always protected me.
Right. And that's one thing they did.
They did. Dion and Judah have, especially Dion. Dion has always had Judah back, because Dion know that Judah is not that type of person.
He wasn't a fighter.
Right.
He was not a fighter, and so he was okay with that. He was like, "You're not a fighter, cool. I will fight your battles for you.
Right.
You ain't got to get your hands dirty. I've already been to juvie. I've already lived this life. You ain't got to do that. Go live your life.
Go to school.
Right, go to school.
Stay in the books or whatever like that. But Dion was smart too, though.
He was.
He
Both
was smart
boys
too.
are extremely smart.
Yeah.
Because it was at some point I felt like, I was like, well, dang, is Dion smarter than Judah?
Right,
because he picked it up so easily with effort.
Right.
Effortless. Whereas Judah was
studying,
he
had
to lock in, but it just came easy for Dion. So I'm like, dang, if he would only be able to apply himself, had Mercy just left, both of them boys would have had a beautiful future ahead of them.
Correct.
And I'm just like, Mercy, you ain't got nothing that's tying you here.
Nothing.
Your
sister's gone. Your mama's gone.
Your
it's you and these boys.
I love Mercy. I just kept reading for everybody else.
I was like, girl, you got my grandma's name and you gonna make this dumb decision?
Yeah, she did.
Like, I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Whew.
So that happened. The fight happened.
So how you feel about the book?
Oh, well, the heartache. It's like, and as we talk about it, my heart still kind of aches. It's still it's like the wound is opened up again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the first book in a long time since that book that she was talking about. This is the first book in a long time that has had me emotionally drained, emotionally tired, still having to read it though. Like, we have not talked about a character that shall not go unspoken of. Miss Chanel.
Y'all don't see.
First of all, not too much on Chanel. Let me tell you why. Chanel was actually. She was. Let's talk about it. Who's your? Wait a minute. I got a question.
You don't have nothing good to say. Don't say nothing at all.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite character?
Xavier. To a point.
Okay.
That's the only safe person to.
That's a safe choice. You?
Xavier. He was a knight in shining armor.
He was.
Like, that man stood 10 toes down. That let me tell you something. This is how you know he stood 10 toes down, and how you knew he absolutely loved Mercy, because even after she was gone,
he still was there for him.
Yeah.
He dropped everything he had to come to Judah and Dion when Judah almost murdered Dion. Behind Chantel.
I'm gonna agree with y'all on favorite character being Xavier, but honorable mention goes to Chanel. Let me tell you why. But first of all, Chanel was those boys' friends from day one.
She was.
She didn't judge
and both boys were in love with her.
Both boys were in love with her.
Because both boys said that they were going to marry her.
Right.
And they just,
Dion,
this man wins.
Right. What happened was...
That was weird.
No, it wasn't.
It's always
like that.
Always.
It's always like that.
Anytime there's two boys and a girl,
it's always gonna be like that.
The girl gonna like one, and both boys gonna
like
her.
And then the girl gonna really have to see which one. But here's the thing: What happened was
she was feeling Dion.
She was wanting Dion, but Dion took a turn for the bad.
And
He went to juvie, and she saw him not being, and she didn't want none part of that.
Next best thing.
Judah was
That's
the
why
safe bet.
I stopped liking her.
Well, Judah was the only person that she could confide in.
Right.
Who understood what she was going through. Because remember, her brother was in prison.
Exactly.
And so
they had that connection.
Yeah, they bonded over that
on
because she understood his emotional trauma because he's trying to help Dion.
Right.
He's trying to, be that foundation to show him like, hey, you got a family. You still got people here that love you.
Correct.
But it's hard when you just making it hard for my mama.
And then what happens? She starts to like Dion. She starts to like Judah. Mm-hmm. Her Judah, we get into a relationship.
Yep.
They doing good.
Yep.
They got plans to go to school together,
mm-hmm.
to do all of these things together. And an unfortunate thing happens. And now Judah is in jail.
And I never ever expected that.
Never.
I never expected that either.
And that's why I say that's when my heart.
Good.
That's when my heart officially broke because this boy had been. His whole entire life was building up for his future. Literally 2 months
on the way out.
Literally 2 months before his life is supposed to take off, this happens, and his whole life is railroaded.
Yeah. It literally reminded me of the movie Lockdown.
Yeah.
Because that boy was a track star.
What's the name of this movie?
Lockdown. You know that movie Lockdown. The boy was a track star. He had the same car as the actual person who did the crime. And they were at a drive-through somewhere. It was at the very beginning of the movie. They were at a drive-through somewhere, and the dude who did the crime threw his weapon into the other boy's car. Right. So when he got pulled over, they were like, "Well, you got the murder weapon." And he was like, "Well, we didn't do anything because both of them went to jail. It was 2 of them in the car."
Wow.
Right.
I wouldn't want to watch that movie.
Don't.
I wouldn't want to watch that.
I would say watch the edited version.
I can't.
Because when I watched the real version of Lockdown,
I remember that it was rough. But yeah,
Lockdown reminds me of Hold You Down.
Right. But yeah, so Judah goes to prison.
Yep. Prison. Not juvie.
Not juvie, but prison.
Prison.
So here's the thing. I get it. He's in prison. He has to deal with so much being in prison. And then he doesn't go to like nice prison. He goes to Rikers. That's prison where it's hard up and down. Yeah. So this timid young man now is in.
Who's never had a fight.
Never been in trouble. Never about that life. In his books is now in prison fighting for his life. So at that moment he couldn't focus on a relationship. He had to focus on surviving. Yeah. So here's the thing. But he did handle it wrong. Instead of him coming to Chanel and saying, "Hey, look, I love you, and we can try to see what happens when I get out of here," he just cold turkey shut the girl
She wrote letters.
She wrote letters. She begged his mama to go see him with her, and he totally just abandoned her.
And it's not like Dion stepped to her because he did not.
She stepped to Dion.
But that only happened after Mercy.
They bonded after Mercy. Think
about it. It's been years.
Right. She just went to college. She didn't graduate from college and all of this stuff. Never got with anybody while she was in college.
Because she was still in love
with Judah.
Hold on. She loved him so much she got with his cousin.
No.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing that wrong. She went to, because you got these people thinking that that's what you have.
When he came to his mama's funeral.
What happened?
When he came to his mother's funeral, that girl tried to talk to him.
And
he ignored her. He wouldn't even look at her in her face. So at that moment, if years have passed and you still not looking at me, it's time for me to move on.
And he moved on with his cousin.
They bonded over their trauma.
They bonded over the trauma because it's not like she volunteered to help Dion pack up Mercy's house.
Right.
Yes, they did.
And
they did all of those things.
Down. They both. She mostly broke down.
Right, because this whole time she's like, when he get out, and then she gets to this funeral and he totally dogged her out again after been dogging her out for years, not answering my letters, not letting me come and see you. You just cold turkey shut me down, and then when I see you for the first time in years, this is how you treat me again.
I mean, and I can understand from Judah's point of view. Because
I
came to bury my mother. I ain't got time to be talking about no little romance.
I'm not asking you to talk about the romance. I'm just asking you to acknowledge me.
Yeah,
because you stopped acknowledging me.
Acknowledged her.
Right? You abandoned me and you still not acknowledging me? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Never acknowledged
So
her.
I can't be mad at Chanel like that because they bonded over their trauma and then it really turned out that they really loved each other.
Yeah.
And who's to say that she wouldn't have ended up with him if he wouldn't have gotten in trouble
in the first place?
And who knows?
Because Judah just said he was going to date her.
Right.
Dion was the one that always from the beginning said, I'm going to marry her.
Right.
Dion was legit in
Honestly,
love with
she trauma bonded with both boys in different ways.
Yeah.
She trauma bonded with Judah, and that's how they ended up in a relationship in the beginning. Then she trauma bonded with Dion, and that's how they ended up. And then their love just blossomed into something else. So we can't. No, we gotta have a little slack for her.
And then Judah got that mad. I was like, Judah,
you can't get that mad.
You about to murder your cousin?
Because he looked the way Judah look at it. I done 7 years in prison for you, and then this is what you do to me.
I get that.
I get it. I get it.
I did 7 years in prison for you, and you do me like this.
But
I would feel the same way.
I understand it. I get it. But based on how it happened, he really can't get mad because Dion tried. Not you want another one.
Top off, baby. What? Y'all see this? The last episode, and she top it off. What? Proud of you. Proud of you, girl.
Didn't I say this whole jug was gonna be gone by tomorrow?
Proud of you, girl. She topping off, y'all. She don't ever top off.
Ever.
This book will make.
This book make you drink, y'all. If you want something that's emotionally raw, it's gonna make you drink. Read it.
Because what?
Thank you, darling.
Judah was about to get out after Mercy. Because it was like another year or so.
Yeah. He literally was about to get out.
Yeah. It's always right here. It's always right here with this book.
It was right here.
Because I can understand if they were doing it the entire time. It was literally like the last 6 months to a year of his prison sentence. Yeah.
And he went there to tell him. He went there to tell him. And he couldn't do it. And then guess what he did?
And then he broke up with her. He was like, I cannot do this. He was like, because he was way more loyal to Judah.
He was loyal to his cousin
than he was to Chanel. And he was like, I know this is going to break his heart. So when because the only way he found out is when she called.
Right.
Yeah.
And she thought she was talking.
She thought she was talking to Dion. He picked up the phone and because he cut her off cold turkey as well.
Right.
He just stopped. He was like, I'm not doing this. I cannot do this. Because they initially thought it was just going to be like a trauma one night stand type of thing. But that's not what happened.
It grew to something else.
Tremendously. And so quick. And, once it was explained to Judah after he calmed down, and he was just like, I understand. But I was just like, you couldn't understand before you almost killed me, sir? I almost died twice.
First of all, you ain't have nothing when you got out of jail. And I done set you up. I done bought your clothes. I done got your life together.
He done it. He did all those things because number one, he loved his cousin. Number two, he felt guilty. He was guilty.
But he also loved his cousin, though.
He loved his cousin.
He still would have did that regardless if he didn't feel guilty.
Correct. I think so.
Yeah, I think he still, because Dion went on and got his trucking license.
Mm-hmm. He got his life together.
Xavier
and that's another thing. Boy. Xavier kept helping those boys out.
He did.
He went and got Dion after
he was 10 toes down for that family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rating time. So you said you rated it a 5. Mm-hmm. What about you?
I rated a 4.9.
4.9.
Only because it still was a sad ending.
Right. I
wanted a happy ending.
You wanted something happy.
I like black books, black characters with happy endings. I want the fairy tale ending sometimes.
In real life, you just don't get a happy ending.
And I understand that. But because it's like based on a true story, I was like, come on, sis.
But I get what she's saying because real life is hard. So sometimes when we read books, we kind of want to.
I want the, like Redeeming Love.
Want to feel
They had a
good.
fairy tale ending.
Right.
Let me tell you something. If I had an inkling of how I thought this book was going to be, I would have never picked this book up.
Right.
I thought this woman was going to hold her man down because he was going through some hard times.
Right.
I didn't know it was about a sister and two sisters. I would have never read this book.
Would've
Because
never
Two
picked it up.
cousins.
I am a redeeming love person. I
Yeah.
am not I'm going to cook crack in the kitchen and I'm going to get some. I'm not this person.
No,
With
I'm not.
incense burning.
Right.
I'm a
Right.
little house on
What
the
that
prairie,
smell
sweet magnolia.
is.
Sweet Magnolia.
I'm that person. I would have never read this book.
Right.
Yeah. Understandable.
Okay. I rated it. So I like books that make me feel.
You felt everything.
I felt everything. So that's why I say I have to give it a 5 because it made me feel all the feel anger, sadness. At parts I laughed,
Yeah.
so it made me feel all of these things, so I have to give it a 5. Granted, I'm like her a little bit. I just needed it to get a little better at the end.
A little better.
And it didn't.
Some silver lining. So
Right.
well. Some
So,
hope.
I will say that, but I still have to give it a 5 because
It was
child.
a really good
She
book.
stuck to what
The
she
book,
stuck to.
she stuck to it. Hold it
Tracy
down.
Brown stuck to
Okay,
it.
let me say this. So I read the book and I have finished it, right? So the crazy part, after I read everything about this book, the entire book spans over a 10 to 15 year time period. Like, it's not like this drawn out
Yeah.
thing, but I don't know. I'm gonna ask y'all, did y'all feel, and when it ended and how Mercy passed away and all of that, in my head, I was picturing Mercy to be 45, 50.
80.
No.
50, 55,
No.
like,
The way her life was, I was like, this just sounds old.
No. So like Lenox, when she was unalive, she was about 25.
right,
And then when Mercy got lupus, she was in her 30s.
right.
Yeah.
And so what made me think about it
Died in
was
her 30s.
my mama, she was like, the girl was 30.
Yeah.
The girl was 30. And it made me think, she really was 30. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, and in my head, I'm like, oh, well, she
You're
really.
thinking they're all this.
I'm thinking
everything
they
they've gone
older.
through.
Yeah.
These girls was young, and I'm thinking this girl was younger than me,
Yeah.
and her life is over
Younger
because of
than me.
decisions that she the decisions her family made a big impression on her. But they say that when you're in a relationship, the person that's taking always gets more of the giver. And Lenox took.
Yeah.
And Mercy kept giving, but she took more than Lenox had to give.
Yeah.
And that was the catalyst of both of them.
Yeah.
Because if Mercy would have said, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I've given you what I can give you, and that's all I got, and cut it off, this story would have had a whole different ending.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, think about your siblings.
Because they were
think about
holding
your
gripes
siblings.
over
How,
stuff, small stuff.
Right. But think about your siblings. At what point do you say, I know it's your siblings, but at what point do you say, enough is enough because this is affecting my life
Yeah,
now.
you gotta learn on your own.
In Mercy's case, it was not like she had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. She had lupus.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't think that could have happened even if Lenox wouldn't have died or Lenox would have kept it together and had a just a straight A life. Look, it was gonna like cancer. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I'm not even saying on that aspect. I'm talking on her entire life.
the decision.
Because Mercy is the oldest one.
Right.
So Lenox is the wild child, the free spirit. She's able to do a lot more.
But your free spirit,
Mercy had to buckle down
is causing me pain now. Which is why, to me, reading the book, I kept saying Lenox was the villain. But at the same time,
but she wasn't though.
She wasn't
because she paid for the tuition. She paid for the restaurant. Like she
also
tried
gave
to
push community.
Yeah, she
she
tried to push Mercy to leave, and she tried to push Mercy to do full time your restaurant.
Lenox just had a limited thought space. I just want to get this fast money because I want to help my family, and that's all she saw.
Right.
She didn't think. She didn't have that.
And I also think Lenox was more like their mom than Mercy, and I felt like
I'm the provider.
Right, but at a certain point, I wasn't enough for my mama to be around. So I'm gonna put everything I got in my sister because I see that she's just like her. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that's why she kept going.
Amazing book.
Amazing book.
But you know, we should have known Lenox was gonna be gone. Because the way that she would talk to Mercy, like giving her with the way Lenox talked to
right.
First of all, why is your younger sister telling you go live your dreams?
She was trying to get her.
Why is your younger sister saying, hey, if you ain't got it, I got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Okay, Judah tuition is up. What you mean? Why does it matter how it got paid? It got paid.
It got paid.
Because I see the vision that you have for him.
Right.
And I agree with your decision making on that. And so even though she ain't poured that into her own son.
Right.
She knew, okay, you on the right path. Do what you got to do. But I'm going to also help you.
Yeah.
Correct.
She bought the restaurant. She didn't even consult with Mercy. She was like, we gonna get this.
And we're doing good.
Right.
Help with the renovations and all of that.
Until the restaurant situation happened. We ain't gonna tell that boy. No.
Yeah. That was all the owner. Yeah, that was all the owner right there.
It's an amazing book, guys. I recommend. First of all, I'm gonna say this: there's a huge disclaimer when reading this book. A lot of traumatic things happen. A lot of stuff.
A lot.
I mean, drugs.
You had 2 murders.
Yeah.
You had arson.
Yeah.
You had the beginning of the crack epidemic in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we all know how that went.
Right.
Well, us millennials.
And the effect
y'all new gen don't know what that is.
and you see the lasting effect of it. This book tells you, it takes you at the beginning of it, of that it's
a life within the crack epidemic.
Yeah.
Of how people try to survive during that time. Because when you see these movies like New Jack City and all of those old school movies, they don't show you the everyday life of people living in that world or in that situation. They just show you the fast cars, the money, the violence and stuff like that. But no, there are actual everyday people.
The high life of it.
Yeah, the high life of it. There are actually everyday people that live with these situations day in and day out in these types of neighborhoods. And I appreciated the way that she didn't focus so much on the bad, just focus more so on the bad of that particular family.
Right.
Living within this hectic, chaotic world. Crack was introduced pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
This book was written according to real life. Mm-hmm. And like I said, when you was reading about the author, that helped me to understand a lot about what I read. And though she didn't say a lot, I wish she would have went into more about the things that Lenox did for the neighborhood. Yeah. Because because
everybody loved her.
People was coming out saying, well, she helped me with my rent. She helped me buy my daughter's school clothes. She did this. She was doing, that's real life things,
Right.
And
so she was a pillar of her community.
And she didn't sell per se. She just cooked it.
We know.
That's another story.
A pillar of the community.
A pillar of the community.
We know somebody else said they were
a pillar of the community.
But anyway.
That's another story. So, all right. Guess what time it is?
Yeah.
Guess what time it is?
Y'all like, I'm going to do this.
If it was a movie,
who would play who? So, we did pick, 6 characters, like the 6 main characters. There's some other people in the book.
We should have picked also the dude that Lenox was on and off with. I forgot his name.
Let's not talk about Bruno.
Let's not talk about it.
I would say for him, will you get that dude
50 Cent.
No, ATL.
Okay. Yeah, him.
The not the movie, the show ATL.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the dark skin dude.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but
I wouldn't. Well, I guess.
I mean, in the show, it's pretty much what he do.
Right.
That's what he do, but this guy here was a little. He wasn't silent. He wasn't.
He wasn't skinny.
Well,
that dude is pretty thick. What's his name?
All right, but let's go to our main people. Yeah. So Mercy. So you know who we picked for Mercy. Have you all saw Sinners? If you look at Sinners, the lady that was one of the twins, I can't remember, Stacks, whatever their name is.
Smoke and Stacks.
Smoke and Stacks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but one of them's wife, the one that was the kind of into the voodoo type situation. Her name is Wanami Masaka.
I still haven't seen that movie.
Yes, I haven't seen it either, but it's on Amazon.
It's good. It's good. At first, when I first watched it, I was just like, I don't know, because everybody kept hyping it up. So when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, it was cool. It wasn't great, but it's one of those movies that if you keep thinking about it after it's over, you start to see why it's really good. And so I had to go back and recant my statement. It was good. So if you haven't watched Sinners, put that on your list of things to do. So, but she played Mercy. The character that I'm asking for Mercy is one of the characters in one of the lady that's cast in there. Her name is Wanami Masaka. So she would be Mercy. Next, Miss Lenox. So Lenox was a free spirit. She was funny. She was just like a big personality, right? Bold, courageous in some aspects. So I said Miss Keke Palmer.
Yes.
Because I can see Keke Palmer like, girl, we gonna be all right. Yeah. I'm gonna cook this crack in the kitchen and we gonna be just fine. Like, I can see her playing that role.
And she just did that movie with her and was it SZA?
Oh yeah, the day. I still haven't saw that either.
I haven't watched it, but I was like, that's on my list. When you said Keke, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so that's her. Judah was again the smart one, the one that had a future. We picked Alfred Enoch. If you watched How to Get Away with Murder, Wes.
Yes.
Because I saw him as this little, not really geeky, but studious.
Yeah.
Into his studies.
And I
not rough around the
Alfred,
edges. I love him.
That is my show.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So that's why I picked Alfred. Dion. So y'all remember Empire?
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem,
yep.
You're so beautiful. Pick it up. Yeah. That was my show. I think I'm going to go back and watch it from the top. Because I honestly don't remember how I didn't finish it. I think I just stopped watching it.
What's his name?
So that's why Dion?
Yeah, what is his name?
His name is Brysher Gray.
That's what it is.
Brysher Gray. I think he would be a perfect Dion because he's a little rough around the edges, but still got that swagger. Yeah. And I think Dion had a lot of swagger. Yeah. So that's why I picked him. Chanel, the person y'all love to not like. And I feel like I picked this girl for everything because I just think she's so cute and she's actually
I like her.
She's growing on me. She's a good actress. If you haven't watched Forever, so the last time we taped, I had not watched Forever, but I kept hearing good things about it. But now after I watched it, I fell in love with it. Yeah, I can't wait to season 2. So go watch it if you haven't watched that. But I picked Lovey Simone to be Chanel because why not? I think she's talented and I think she would be a good Chanel. And then last but not least, Xavier, everybody's favorite character of the book. He also played in Forever. He was the dad and Mr. Wood Harris. Because he was so cool in Forever. Like, even when they had issues with the son, he'd be like, boy, don't do that. And I feel like that's Xavier. He wanted to get Mercy and them kids out the hood. And I feel like if they would have went that route, this story would have had it just would have been different. And I feel like he would be a great person. Because he was imparting knowledge on them boys at the end. Like, he would not let them... When they were ready to give up on each other, he was like, nope, that's not how this going to go. That's not how this going to go. And I feel like he would be great. What you think?
For the first time, I agree with all the characters.
Yay. What? Mm-hmm. Clock it. Mm-hmm. That's my new thing. Clock it.
It's the ha.
Ha.
Oh, I can't stand it, girl.
That's a Baddies reference.
I'm trying to remember
if you don't know Baddies. So, yeah.
Well,
we did it, y'all.
We did it.
We finished.
We did it. 10 episodes. So, hey, in the comments, tell us what your favorite episode of our podcast was this time.
I know.
What was your favorite book that we talked about?
You really gonna ask me that?
I really
You
am going to
already
ask
know
you.
it's Perfect Peace.
Oh, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Perfect Peace.
Perfect Peace.
What about you?
No, it's Perfect Peace. We haven't talked about my favorite book yet. That's in season 2.
I said, what did we talk about this season that you like? That's what I said.
That's a very good question.
I got mine.
What's yours?
Evelyn Hugo.
You know what?
Evelyn Hugo, 7 Husbands of Evelyn
I think that's
Hugo.
my favorite as well because
Evelyn's my girl.
she is my
She's
girl.
my girl down.
And I have you know what's crazy? I haven't bought my dress to be Evelyn.
You are Evelyn.
But I
That's
have
Evelyn.
envisioned
You are so
what my
Evelyn,
dress
bro.
would look like.
You Evelyn. You Evelyn, child. You are
Because I want
Evelyn.
finger waves. I want the whole
You're Evelyn.
9 yards. The makeup.
I can see it.
Everything. I have literally designed a ball gown, a emerald green, almost like a ball gown dress.
And I can see it. Who you gonna dress up for our party? We gonna post pictures of our
I don't
party.
know. I have to think.
We'll
Between
technically
her
be
and
on
Kitty,
break.
but even though we haven't done Kitty, but between
Yeah.
her and Kitty,
Kitty Car. I love Kitty Car.
Yeah. So we'll be on break, but we're gonna have a Halloween party. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna dress up as our favorite characters of books we've read.
now
So-
we probably will still post on our social media
Right.
accounts.
So follow our social media accounts because just because we're not taping and talking doesn't mean we're not reading and discussing. So
right. And we might end up doing a short series because I know we went to the book crawl. We still haven't posted for that.
right.
So we might just do like short episodes or
Or
short
even if we go on
stories.
our field trips.
Right.
Yeah,
and
We
post
might do
stuff.
some live content or something like that for the
Right.
field trips.
Right. Correct.
So I know we don't post on a regular basis because life be lifing, but
We coming.
we got y'all.
We coming. Just don't think since we're not taping that we not reading and we not talking and we not discussing.
always-
And
We
all you
are
copycats need to
always
give
be.
props.
So, but thank you guys for joining us
Yes. Thank you.
for this first season.
Yes.
This started off as literally a conversation at a
Here
book
we are.
club,
Here we
and
are.
we
Here
literally
we are.
saw it. It came to
You
life.
know what? I'm going to say it on here. I think that the first episode of the new season, we're not going to tell you what book we're going to do because we've already decided. But I think it should be at a round table, like a book club type.
Definitely. I definitely get round table vibe.
Round table, yeah,
Sitting.
sitting.
Yeah.
Not a red
just
table
us,
talk. Not a red table talk.
But sitting around a table, discussing it with other readers and other
Yes.
people. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's going to be a big premiere.
Right. So stay tuned. Follow us on social media so you can stay in the know with us. Drink This Book podcast. We are here. We did it. We got through one season so we can do more. Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We can do this.
And she about to be topped off again. All right.
Because it's Juneteenth. Yeah. Are y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! First time we got 2 in the same episode.
I know.